How sweep it is. The Houston Astros go to Seattle and they remind them who the first place reigning AL West champs are. It's the Houston Astros. The Mariners were surging into the All-Star break at a 14-game win streak. Not easy to do. And they came out in a doubleheader. They swept the Yankees. They went to the Mariners. The Mariners fans thought this was their World Series. They literally said it, and we crushed their hopes and dreams. We are Locked on Astros. Let's talk about this. We're going to have fun.
Hello and welcome to Locked on Astros, your daily Astros podcast. Here are your hosts, Eric the Man Heisman and Brett Htown Wheelhouse Chansey.
We are Locked on Houston Astros, and we're your daily Astros podcast. I'm Htown Wheelhouse. You can find me on Twitter at Htown Wheelhouse. You can find the show at Locked on Astros on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Htown Wheelhouse. And right now, without further ado, I want to bring in my man, the New York Kid, the kid from Buffalo, New York, who is an Astros fan. He follows the show. We got Trev with us. Trev, tell us where they can find you on Twitter.
I don't know if you guys have been living under a rock or anything, but if you haven't seen me on Twitter and you root for the Astros, I got to judge you a little bit, but you can find me on Twitter at TrevStros. And you could also find me on YouTube at my YouTube channel at TrevStros as well.
Yeah, thank you for joining us today, Trev. I appreciate it. We did have Eric. Eric was going to be here with us, but he had some flight delay issues getting out of town. He was hoping to be landed and at his destination, and his flight got delayed. I think he just sent me a text 10 minutes ago saying he was boarding. So he should be here tomorrow and the rest of the week. We're hoping to get Robert Flores back on this week. We haven't nailed down the exact date, but we got some just exciting things going on. Make sure you make Locked on Astros your first listen every single day. Today's episode is brought to you by Blue Nile. Today's episode is brought to you by this quality jewelry place. It's not just your regular jewelry boutique. Going on now, they have the Blue Nile anniversary sale. Save up to 40% on classic fine jewelry pieces, 25% on engagement ring settings. Shop stress-free and find your forever piece at BlueNile.com today. So I know we got a lot of people. We had a lot of people here. Look, we already got some greetings. Go Trevor. You know, the good news is the Seattle fans is that their team is still streaking. They are still streaking, Jay. Not even lying about that. Now, I'm going to have to explain something because I know everybody's not exactly. They're streaking the wrong way.
Yep.
Now, I need to explain the title because when it says Astros Sweep Mariners DAWG, okay, the reason why I put that is there's a Seattle fan, SSN something. I forget the guy's name.
Alex, SSN. I don't even want to mention.
Yeah, Alex.
Name.
Yeah. He basically got out there. He put himself out there and, credit to him for, having the guts to do this. Talked about how they were going to go at the Astros fans no matter what no matter where they were just going to give them heck. And, they were just going to let the Astros know who are the real, who really reigns the American League West, right? And he just said something like dog, and he kept using the word dog. And then Astros Twitter started using the word dog. So I figured I would throw that in the title to throw a little shade at them because this series was never in question. Not a single inning, maybe today, maybe one inning, but the Astros have led every inning coming out of the All-Star break. So they've won 5 games in a row, Trev. I mean, what else can you say about this team? They've won 5 in a row, and I'm just going to hit you with the curveball question at the beginning. Are the Astros playing so well that they're playing themselves out of getting someone at the trade deadline?
That is a really good question. I definitely think they are playing extremely, extremely well, and they're doing it coming out of the All-Star break. We had a tough loss at the end against the Oakland Athletics, a game that we really should have won going into that All-Star break because we knew that this streaking Mariners were going to be like our next top opponent after we pound the Yankees into the ground for the billionth time. But I honestly think we still do need to make a move. There are still, some options out there. Other players are going to, see what they're going to be like, hey, I already see Houston 64 and 32 right now. I might want to see if I want to, take my shot and playing in Houston. Guys like Josh Bell, Yuli Gurriel, for all we know, is 56 years old, lying on his birth certificate. I don't believe for a second the dude's 37. He's probably 56 years old. Time to hang him up, bro. And time to go to that that Cuban scout, international scout role, which I think he would absolutely thrive in the Houston system. I still think that they do make moves at the deadline, whether it's Castillo, they're not going after Soto, if you know our general manager. Maybe a guy like Josh Bell is on my radar for sure.
Yeah, exactly. And we will kind of hit on that a little bit more later in the show. And I mean, immediately when I asked that question, Johnny Munoz, a regular, said absolutely not. He said no. And then our guy Murphy said outfielder with a bat. James Cook said he would love Castillo. I think he's on everybody's radar.
Chas McCormick has a bat. I mean, the last 5
That's
games,
right.
Chas McCormick has a bat.
Exactly.
Sure.
And Johnny also says, leave no doubt, keep leveling up with the trades. Here's the thing. At the end of the day, the Astros are one of the top 2 teams. When I was at that doubleheader, and I think I stated it on the podcast after that second game, that was pandemonious. That was, the Yankees come to play when they play us, and we come to play them. And they're, to me, clearly the 2 best teams. And I know some people say, well, you're not even giving credit to the Dodgers. Well, I know the Dodgers, I know they don't have Dustin May. I know they have some other pitching ailment issues. They've had some injury issues. Bellinger is pretty much, I don't even think he's really doing much. Turner hasn't
Carlos
really been
Correa
doing great.
ruined his career. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, at the end of the day, really it's the Astros and the Yankees. And it's kind of a shame that they're in the same league, because you would like to see those 2 teams right now. I would want them in the World Series, but since we can't have that, I'll take the Mets. I'll take DeGrom. I'll take Scherzer. Let's go, baby. I mean, Padres. Yep. I mean, who knows? So let's talk about some series highlights. Okay,
there are a lot of them.
You boo Altuve. What does he do, Trev?
Just everything that he's been doing since the scandal even broke, right? Like, well, when there's fans in the stands. So since 2021, you boo him. What happens? He takes it to the second deck every time.
Yeah.
He feeds off of it. And in the words of Jeff Blum, he said it best. Keep doing it. Keep booing him, because he thrives off of that stuff. No one will ever learn. He will never learn. And it just blows my mind. Keep booing Altuve while he, destroys your favorite team. That's fine.
Exactly. He has the most hits in Major League Baseball since 2011, 1,861. But he's not necessarily the guy I want to focus on. I want to focus on Martin Maldonado. Maldonado is hitting 259 in July. He has 14 hits. He had 20 hits in May and June combined. He has 14 this month. 2 doubles, 5 home runs, 14 RBIs, 4 walks, 7 extra base hits, an OPS of 896, a slugging percentage of 574. Now, am I saying that Martin Maldonado is the best hitting catcher in the league? Absolutely not. But him contributing, okay, and him going out there working, I think he's working harder on his hitting than he ever has, because there's no doubt that he works behind the plate. There's no doubt that when he goes out there and he does that. And the great thing about this team is someone like Jose Altuve leads off with the home run. And I'm gonna go to Peña, and then I'm gonna jump back to Maldonado. I want to get your comment on him.
Sure.
Altuve said today that his home run for the leadoff did not set the tone. Peña's home run set the tone, because it was a back-to-back shot. I mean, this is the leader of the team deferring to a rookie who has kind of been struggling at the plate lately. He hitting like 220-something in his last 4 weeks. He hadn't been hitting great.
Right.
And he takes that tank to back-to-back, and Jose Altuve says, hey, look at the kid. He's the tone setter. But Martin Maldonado, what do you guys say about him?
Martin Maldonado, similar to the Jake Odorizzi treatment, he's hearing all this frustration from the fans. There's nobody that feels more sorry for Martin Maldonado than Martin Maldonado. We saw how he was batting in May and June, and guess what? He's turning his game around a lot. Everyone was saying, we got to get rid of him. We have to overpay for, Wilson Contreras. While I would love Wilson Contreras in an Astros uniform, Martin Maldonado is looking like the 2021 Machete. He's picking off runners. He's hitting home runs. Can we talk about the clutch factor he was in today's game? My heart would have been in my throat in the 9th inning if he didn't get that 2-out, what was it, a single that scored 2 runs?
Yeah, the bloop single, yeah.
Bases loaded. He's been looking great. My question to you, Brett, when do we urine test this guy, Martin Maldonado? He's been look at him from May, look at him to July. You're just giving these haters more things to complain about. Oh, Martin Maldonado must be using a trash can, probably. I love it. I think he's just finding his groove, and he's finding it at the right time. If he keeps this thing going into the playoffs, he had one of the most spectacular, plays in Astros history to strike him out, throw him out with Kendall Graveman last year. If he's half as good as that, this team will be fine without a question as far as the catching position is concerned.
Exactly. And I got a great quote from Ryan Presley today that Mr. Chandler Rome from the Chronicle posted. Ask of the significance of sweeping the Mariners after they got within 9 games. Ryan Presley replied, "We're not really thinking about them. We just show up to the field and we expect to win every day. That's
Perfect.
mentally that's a mentality that we have regardless of who we're playing." He's like, if you look at it, June 17th, the Yankees have a 9 or 9.5 game lead over the Astros. Now it's down to like a game and a half.
It is. I think with the win today, it's down to 1 game.
Yeah, we're that much closer, and we're beating good teams. We're not beating just bad teams. And the Astros have the best road record. The Astros have not lost a series on the road. That
never
bodes
been
well
swept.
because
Knock on wood.
been swept.
Never been swept.
That's crazy, right? Yeah, knock on. Well, I don't have any. Yeah, I don't know if that wood's fake or not, but I went ahead and knocked on it.
You're good. I found something.
I have a polyurethane desk here. Knock on polyurethane, maybe a 2022 thing.
That means that we're going to win the World Series if you knock on that thing.
That's right. I need to get connected with Mattress Mac. But listen, before we go any further, I've got to talk to y'all about Blue Nile, and then we want to talk about Justin Verlander. We want to talk about some injuries, talk about like some injury updates. But Blue Nile is the original online jeweler, and they were intended to reach out to high income adults, primarily males 25 and over, looking to get engaged with a fine jewelry gift. But here's the thing. It doesn't matter whether you're a high-income adult because they have jewelry pieces at every price point, and they've been doing it for so long. They get what you want. You tell them the size, the clarity. You tell them the setting, the shape, the style, and they create it for you. They create like a one-of-one ring. If you're into sports cards or anything like that, like my son created some Nikes on Nike ID for basketball. He has a shoe that nobody else has. It's a one-of-one. Imagine that for the girl of your dreams. You're going to ask her to marry you. You want to do it the right way. You want to do it with the right jewelry, fine jewelry, or even just jewelry pieces, cocktail rings, gemstone necklaces. Or, Trev, if you want to get your mom something special next Mother's Day or anything, you can buy early and save now.
She's watching.
If you go to Blue Nile, I know that's why I'm dropping that there. So I'm trying to put you on the hook there. But they have these bench jewelers that are online 24/7. They'll answer any questions. They'll take your price point. And then if you get something and you order it, you don't like it, they will make it right. They have a 100% guarantee, 30-day money-back guarantee, all these things. But make your moment sparkle with jewelry from BlueNile.com. And going on now, the Blue Nile anniversary sale. Save up to 40% on classic fine jewelry pieces, 25% on engagement ring settings. Plus, every order is insured, ships free, and arrives in discreet packaging that won't give away what's inside. Shop stress-free and find your forever piece at BlueNiles.com. All right, so we got a lot of people here. Astros have swagger.
They do.
Another thing about Presley. Presley just set a club record: 28 consecutive batters retired.
He passes Roberto Osuna from 2019, I believe. Yeah.
That's huge. And I was having a discussion today on the spaces, and someone's like, I don't really trust Presley. And I'm like, he's been perfect for the last how many ever outings he's been out there. Like where do we get this recency bias? Like when Abreu gave up those 4 or 5 runs the other day, someone's like, oh, he always gives up runs. I'm like, he hadn't given up a run since April 23rd, right?
Right.
And so, look, Sam caught it. Sam caught the mystery tee. Hey, Sam, since you caught the mystery tee, the next Astros game I go to, if you want to go, I'll bring you a Facing Nolan movie poster just for finding that. That's what I told Trevor we're going to do. But how about Justin Verlander? What about this guy? 99.3. Is this a robotic being that got put into like Justin Verlander's skin, and maybe Verlander's really on the couch at home with Kate?
I think it's just Terminator. I think he's an anomaly in the sport. I think he's the only player at his position, at his age, to get Tommy John surgery and not only come back from Tommy John, but pitch a sub-3 ERA. I think he's at a sub-2 right now, isn't he? Something like that. He is just, I think he's half man, half machine. And I have, all the respect in the world to Justin Verlander because And also apologies as well, because I was pretty much writing him off last year saying, he's probably not going to come back next year. So his money will be off the books. That'll give us more money to bring in Carlos Correa. I'm glad it ended this way, that this is where the cards kind of came together. Because Justin Verlander is, if we have this Verlander going into the postseason, we didn't have this last year. We didn't have Lance McCullers in the World Series last year, and he's been making some progress too. Justin Verlander is he's our ace. That's the only thing you can say.
is.
He is our ace.
And he showed it. I mean, throwing the hardest pitch he's thrown or pitches he's thrown in 5 years. He gets career win number 239. He's tied with David Wells and Modicar Brown. I think I'm totally butchering that guy's name, for 59th all time. Trev, on a previous episode, I talked about how Justin Verlander, had he not missed those 2 seasons, he would be top 5 in strikeouts. He would probably be top 40 something in wins. I mean, those 2 years. But the question is, if he would have pitched those 2 years, would he be throwing 99.3 right now? You know what I'm saying?
That's a good question.
Was the blessing in the curse? Because he's basically pitching with a new elbow. And if the Astros win the World Series, I think he stays loyal to Houston. I don't think he gets pride out of our hands.
I think if they go to the American League Championship Series for the 6th time in a row, I think he stays going into next year.
So we got a special feature, and I do, because I'm going to mention this, I'm going to apologize, to those of y'all listening. You won't be able to see this. Obviously, you have to go to YouTube and watch it. I'm going to cut a couple minutes out of the audio so you won't have to sit through us watching something. But Lance McCullers Jr. pitched down in San Antonio, and a friend of ours from LarryTheGM.com, Larry the GM, actually took some film of him at a game, and I put together a clip. I'll show about 60 seconds of it, of him throwing different pitches so y'all can actually see him pitch if there was any news coverage. But James Click did say about this that he will have to have 4 to 5 starts, and they are engaged in a spring training style rehab, and that's where they want him to be. They want him to be contributing. He didn't necessarily give a timetable, but he said we need to make sure that this is like spring training for him, bringing him in slowly. So Trev, let's show them this. Let's show them this video. I'm gonna warn y'all to turn your volume down a little bit because I didn't get to adjust the volume at the very end because it's gonna come in real loud at first. So my apologies on that. So here it is: 5, 4, 3,
jump
2,
scare
1.
warning.
'87 mile slider.
Number 20.
All right, batter number 3. I missed that one. All right, that last pitch was 93. Struck him out. There's strike 1. '94. 92 and a 94 so far for Lance. Little outside. 94 again. Strike. There. There's strike 1.
All right, there we go. That's just some footage of Lance McCullers Jr. You're not going to get anywhere else except here at Locked On Astros. So thank y'all for sitting there and watching that. I just I think he looked good. I don't think he is anywhere close to where he needs to be. I think he really is going to take this slowly. So we don't have a timetable, but let's talk about this Yordan Alvarez, okay? We know Brantley's still out. We haven't heard anything about Brantley. He's going to start swinging, I think I've heard this week, which is a good sign. Jason Castro, I still think he's going to be donezo. I just think it's a matter of days or weeks before they announce his retirement. To be quite honest, keep him on maybe as a consultant or someone in the dugout to just be there. But Dusty Baker did say we will have to monitor Yordan Alvarez's hand throughout the season, so expect him to get a few days off here or there. He underscores the Astros need, and this, some people are saying, underscores the Astros need for a bat at the trade deadline. So I think that Yordan Alvarez, I'm like, just let him rest the next 7 days. What do you think? I mean, do you say let him play if he feels good, or what? What do you think the pros or cons are?
I'm thinking if I'm Yordan Alvarez, I'm telling, excuse me, Dusty Baker straight up what's going on. If I'm feeling good, put me in the game, Dusty, because, we got some tough teams coming up. I mean, still got to face against some tough NL teams. You got some key divisional games. We're not done with the Mariners yet, believe it or not. We got some important games coming up. If he says otherwise, like, hey, maybe you should rest me this one, rest him. Don't even think about even using him as a pinch hitter. But if he feels fine, I understand where you're coming from. Let him decide. Because if it's, bottom of the ninth, tie game, bases loaded, who would you rather have in that situation? Aledmus Diaz or Yordan Alvarez? Let's be real. If Yordan says he's fine, I want him to hit that tank grand slam in the right field, right under the scoreboard to win the game. Let him decide. I'm all for that. But I also do see where you are coming from.
Yeah, for me, so I met a runner years ago, a guy who's been running marathons for 25 years. He told me he had never had an injury, zero, not even running. He said some of it's luck, but he said all of it was me when I was hurt and my body told me I was ailing. I rested and I recovered and I started up my program again when I felt fully recovered. I never went back too early. And I think that's the only way to stay away from injuries. I think we still got a lot of season left. I think we have such a massive lead in the division. And I think, you can keep him somewhat fresh if he says, hey, I feel good today. And they're like, why don't we have you pinch hit in the 6th or 7th inning? Keep him swinging. And so at the end of the day, now one of our viewers is saying that Chandler Rome is saying that the team is not letting on as to how bad it is. Now, I'm just going to say that's speculation on my part because I haven't seen it. I'm not saying that this metal maniac is not telling the truth, but I don't want to report something on the show that I haven't seen myself. I do know that has been kind of a frustration where the Astros seem to not really be full disclosure on everything, where they're kind of like, they hold cards close to the vest, right? So we don't know. So we really make it a rule of ours not to speculate. But I think Yordan, sit him for the A's series. I mean, it's the Oakland A's. They're freaking last place. We rake in that stadium anyways, Ricky Henderson Field, whatever they call it. But hey, let's do this. Let's talk about the
septic tank stadium.
Septic tank stadium. Actually, I think we should just call them the Las Vegas A's, right?
Right.
Because they just need to move to Las Vegas.
Yeah. Oh, that's right.
Yeah. So the Astros had 10 of their 20 picks signed. Okay. They had Andrew Taylor, their second round pick. He signed for $807,000. Michael Noor, who I'm excited about, third round pick. Trey Dombrowski signed for $443. Nolan DeVos, round 5. Underslot at $197. His slot was $331, so he saved some money there. Colin Price, 6th round, unknown bonus. Adam Blueball, unknown bonus. Tyler Guilfoyle, undisclosed bonus. 10th, 12th, and 135th pick, all signed with bonuses not disclosed. The 3 picks that they did not sign that I want them to sign are the ones that I'm most excited about, and that is Drew Gilbert, Jacob Melton, and their number 11 pick, Trevor, this Ryan Clifford out of Crossroads High School, North Carolina. They got some absolute studs in this draft, and you don't always sign every single player, but I think at the end of the day, I think this Drew Gilbert kid is going to be a game changer once he signs.
I mean, that's just another lefty bat that we can use. He's fantastic. He's got the swagger. I don't know if you watched it, but the highlight film that came out on him when the Astros selected him, his walk-off and playing for the Tennessee Volunteers, where he did the bat flip and walked down to first. I don't remember if it was a walk-off grand slam or a home run, but that is kind of the swagger that we are. If I can pick one thing that we need to, upgrade, it's the level of swag. Jose Siri has the swag, but he bats like, okay, like settle down, Jose Siri, a little bit. But I feel like Bregman, he's not really that swaggy kind of guy this year. He's kind of like to himself. Drew Gilbert is swagger, like Ike Taylor, swagger.
Exactly. And that's, we've lost Correa, we've lost Springer, we still have Bregman, but those guys are really spark plugs in the clubhouse. And speaking of spark plugs in the clubhouse, Big Papi, that dude he was a dude, if I could use modern terms. This guy was inducted into the Hall of Fame today, probably one of the greatest DHs of all time, right? But
100%. Big man.
take Big Papi and put Yordan Alvarez into Big Papi, and imagine if Big Papi had the tools that Yordan has, how much better he would be. Yordan is like a 5-tool Papi out there. He made it to the Hall of Fame. Here's the list. So Papi made it in by the BWAA. We want to talk about this. The Golden Days Era Committee, Gil Hodges, Jim Catt, Minnie Minosa, and Tony Oliva. And then the Early Baseball Era Committee elects Bud Fowler and Buck O'Neil. Bud Fowler and Buck O'Neil were both in the Negro League. They both had significant careers. If these guys would have been allowed to play or played with Major League Baseball, they definitely would have been record setters in their own right.
Right, and not only was O'Neil from the Negro League, not only was he like a key staple of what it was for African Americans back then, but he also opted out of the 1944 and 45 season to join the Navy in World War II. So, you honestly have to regard every single, you got to take every single player that's been placed in the Baseball Hall of Fame, look at what they've done on and off the field and be like, why weren't you guys in the Hall of Fame a long time ago? Why are you just now being selected? Like, that was my reaction to literally every single player in here, especially David Ortiz as well.
No, yeah, it's, and I don't, was Ortiz kind of looped in with the steroid stuff? I don't know if that was a stigma for him, but
that
or
may have
maybe
been
the fact that he played
I'm not sure.
DH for so long.
Yep.
I think that was it. But it's always fun to watch it. I didn't get to go to the Hall of Fame whenever Biggio or Bagwell were elected. I believe Eric did. And so I know the next Astro that gets elected, I'm assuming will be Jose Altuve. I'm definitely going to be there for that. I don't care if I'm 60, 70, 80 years old.
Yep.
We'll have to meet at Cooperstown, right?
Oh, we will. Yep.
Hey, okay. Yep. So real quick, I've got to talk about Hooters NASA. Let me tell y'all something. On August 6th, it'll either be a pregame or postgame live event at Hooters NASA. You guys need to get out there. Before that date comes up on 7/29, it's National Wing Day. You buy 10, you get 10 boneless. You get 10 boneless free. You get fried pickles when you mention Locked On Astros. Also, only at Hooters. The night after that, they have UFC Fight Night. Come enjoy happy hour, or should we say happy owl specials, Monday through Friday, 3 through 6. They have Hooterades. They have legendary arenas and the world famous Hooters girls. So you'll want to go hang out with them. Rosie's the manager there, and she will tell you why she's worn black socks since October 26, 2005. You can probably figure out why it is. But my favorite is now the Maple Chipotle. Eric and I went there yesterday. Maple Chipotle is now my new favorite hot wing. I love that stuff. The service is great. The food is phenomenal. So you'll need to go to Hooters NASA. And let me tell you how you get there. It's I-45 South. You exit 528 for great wings. It's conveniently located near the NASA Value Shopping Center, just south of the Baybrook Mall in Webster, Texas. So come see them for lunch, dinner, after work, or whenever, just to celebrate something special at Hooters NASA. You won't go wrong with this place, and you'll go see what the Hoot is all about. And look, if you're going to go to that UFC Fight Night and you want to place a bet, you need to go to betonline.net. Betonline.net is the fastest and easiest way to check in on all your betting needs. Find all your favorite sports and events at the #1 source for odds, lines, and games. Find reviews and news of every league, including Major League Baseball, NFL, NBA, NHL, combat sports, esports, and even golf. BetOnline continues to be the top online resource for all your sports wagering information, from live in-game betting, scores, and podcasts. They have you covered. BetOnline, where the game starts. Yes,
The comments
They
are
got
insane.
yes, that is great. Yes, Hooters has wings for sure. I promise you that. I've been there. All right, so we've gone over the injury update. We've gone over the draft pick. We've gone over this epic sweep of. I don't know if it's an epic sweep. I mean, I don't. I thought the Mariners were going to be competitive. I thought Robbie Ray was back, but
This
I
was their
guess
World
not.
Series. This was
It was
Seattle's
their
World
World
Series,
Series.
and they let it slip away. Could you imagine that?
It was the first World Series where all 3 games were played in one stadium.
Imagine that. And guess who
So
won?
yeah,
Put
the
that
Astros.
banner in Minute
That's
Maid.
right.
Put that
That's
banner in
right.
Minute Maid.
There you go. So Framber induced 14 swings and misses today with 8 Ks. He did give up 8 hits, a lot of soft contact, only 3 runs. Seth Martinez, first time I've ever seen him look really, really shaky. He did not have it today. And so it was one of his worst outings, but you had Montero come in later and you had Press come in and,
Press
do
God.
his job. Yeah,
Yep.
he came in and did his job. So Trevor, if I said you have to decide right now, and whatever you decide the Astros are going to do, I'm telling you right now, the Astros have the option of getting 2 relief arms, or they have the option to get a first baseman. No, hold on, a relief arm and a center fielder, or they can go get a first baseman and a pitcher. Which one are you taking?
So when we're talking first baseman and pitcher, that's starting pitcher.
Yes.
Let's go. I need a lefty reliever in this system, man. Like, I know what the first base is kind of looking like. We need a left-handed relief pitcher, not named Blake Taylor, Parker Mashinsky. That is not top of the wish list for me. Like what I want for Christmas, lefty relief pitcher. We win the World Series.
Okay, I like it. I don't know what it is about Castillo. I just think he would really fit well in this ball club. He's from the Dominican. I think he's got close ties with a couple of players. Maybe bring over Drury in that trade.
Brandon Drury, yeah,
from Cincinnati.
Awesome. Yeah,
maybe bring him over. But Bell is a name, and I want to. I know we're at 32 minutes. We'll take this for a few more minutes. I really like Bell. Like Bell, I think has the potential if you sign him, and if he succeeds, you could get him on a 2 or 3 year contract where it's not going to cost you an arm and a leg, and you still have room to sign Kyle Tucker. If you bring in any other first baseman with a big name, which there are not really many out there, Josh Bell's not. Well, he'll get like maybe between 9 and 15. I don't think he'll even get 15. I think maybe 9 and 11 or whatever for like 2 or 3 years. That would be doable for me, I think.
Brings up another question though. If we do get a lefty reliever and maybe a outfield bat,
right?
That opens the door for Taylor Jones, right? When he gets healthy, take the first baseman spot.
Dude, Taylor Jones is like that kid. He can hit. And
I feel like we're sleeping on him too much a little bit, but he's just injured.
They think very highly. They think very highly of him. James Cook says y'all are sick. I don't know if he's talking to us or he's talking to people. He's talking to Jay suggesting Brooks Raley.
I hear Chapman's available. Never even just no. Never.
Can you imagine?
Raley, Jay said.
No.
Brooks Raley.
Hey, let's throw a cog in the wheel. Can you imagine Aroldis Chapman coming to the Astros and being an absolute dominant setup guy for Presley? Like how that would just upset Yankees. Like I would want to happen just to upset Yankees fans.
Yeah, but only if he's good. If he's not good, I boo him out of the building in a heartbeat.
So someone said Juan Soto for the entire Space Cowboys organization minus Hunter Brown.
We're not the Yankees. Dude. We are not the Yankees.
Yeah, that's what the Yankees would do.
We're not trading the farm for him. No.
Oh, and then he said, look, James Cook says, and then Chapman can room with Altuve. Oh, we're getting crazy now. So I think it's going to be interesting because there really is literally the last big thing he said was we are going to explore all options and all venues to improve the team. We're being aggressive.
GM talk.
Talk. Yeah, it's like, right here. Kaylee says, Matan was amazing in the postseason last year. I think Matan is a big-time pitcher. I think Matan does better when the lights are brighter. I don't know why.
Yes.
And that may be it. I don't mind the guys struggling right now as long as they figure it out during the postseason. You think
I just
that's
don't
valid
understand
to say?
In a 3-1 game, I'm not putting Htown up against DJ LeMahieu with one guy on, but that was a month ago, and we own the Yankees, so I'm over that. But yeah, like he was dominant against the Red Sox last year. He really picked
Yeah.
it up for us on Halloween in Game 5 of the World Series, even though we didn't win the World Series, but giving up that grand slam in the beginning and then coming back and winning that game, and Htown throwing out solid relief innings. He only pitches extremely well when the lights are brighter. It's reverse psychology. It doesn't make any sense, but it works for him, so it works for me.
This is awesome, and I'm actually going to throw this up there. I'm going to give this guy some credit. He had the guts to put this up here. So easy, Trev. He says Altuve won't make the Hall of Fame. Cheaters don't make the Hall of Fame. Yes, they do. Any
2
Yankees
words.
that Derek Jeter,
Tony Adams. Look him up on Twitter. Never cheated.
Yeah,
Get out of here with that. Get out of here with that crap.
Yeah.
Idiot.
All right. So Mr. Timms. Well, Mr. Timms, that's okay. I'll put him in timeout. He got a technical foul for that. We're gonna bounce.
Is that
him
a
for
guy
that
or
one.
a girl? Cheyenne.
I don't
Timms?
know.
Is that a guy or a girl?
I don't know.
Hater.
I just know that that's okay. So let's look at July 25th. Who is pitching in Oakland? Because I have not even looked at it, to be honest with you. I've been so busy. It is Jake Odorizzi, your boy, Odo, versus Euler. I don't even know who that is. He's 0-3 with an 8.56 ERA. If we don't light this guy up tomorrow, and Odorizzi, I really hope he does well, because I still think he has some people that don't like him. I think he has some people that don't really, they're not a big fan of him. But at the end of the day, I think the Astros go into Oakland and do fine. Whether Jordan plays or not, I think they win the series hands down. Trev, do you got anything else for Astros fans, for everybody listening?
I just got to tell you guys, these last 5 games coming out of the All-Star break, I don't know if you guys feel this way, but these were the best 5 wins of the season so far. I mean, you can go back to the Ryan Tepera, Jeremy Peña game, or game 1 of the season where, Bregman and Alvarez went back-to-back on Tepera. These last 5 games, man, it's just been euphoric for the Houston Astros and their fans. And Alex SSN, I don't know if you're watching this, brother, but you could say we're living rent-free in your head, but DAWG, what happened to your Seattle Mariners? Guess what? The Astros aren't the only team that can lose on their home turf in their World Series, okay? You guys join that club too.
Exactly. So, thank you for hanging out with us, Trev. I appreciate you. You're in this undisclosed location in like Western New York because you don't want the Yankees fans to find you.
They already know where I am. I'm living up here
great.
in their head. They already know where I am. Anyone who's from my college, Fredtown, what's up? If you're watching this, I'm up here and you're watching me. Just so you know.
Exactly. And just to say, no, Jordan, I put you in timeout like I'm about to do now because you keep throwing shade and we don't like it. So you're now put in timeout again. All right. So that's all we got. This is Htown Wheelhouse with Locked On Astros. We're your team every day. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. Make sure you hit the like button before the episode ends. And tell everybody about us. And let us know when you're going to an Astros game. Maybe we'll be there and see you there. We'd love to meet you. Y'all have a good one. From myself, Eric the Man Heisman, who's on the plane, and your boy TrevStros from Buffalo, New York. We are out. Have a great evening and go Stros.